just roll the film. You never know.
Great.
You know, the technical thing I run into is sometimes I use screen capture software to do this. Frame rate isn't high enough. Puppet's mouth moves too fast. Or if you do like through a Google Hangout, same thing.
So tell us your name and where you teach.
I am Waka Patui. I teach online at theedupuppets.com. And I'm Sam Patterson, and I teach at Gideon Hausner Jewish Day School in Palo Alto.
And how long have you been teaching for?
I've been teaching this is my 12th year of teaching. I've been teaching all my life. That's a year and a half for him.
And Waka, why do you do what you do? Why do you do this?
I do what I do because I love to see kids excited about learning. I like to empower them as creators of digital content, and I like to inspire them to interact in the whole world.
Can you answer that again?
Sure.
So how do people usually frame you for interviews? I'm just gonna pause.
You know, it can go either way, right?
Yeah.
And we can do either of these. If you want to do like the first half puppet and the second half person, that might be easier.
That might be better. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, because then it switches to you, and I'm looking at the puppet, and I'm like not getting you. So I just
Right.
want to. Yeah.
No, it's funny because I even run into that problem like in face-to-face conversations. People are like, "Who do I look at?"
Yeah.
You just look at who's talking. But you know, it's difficult with. Now, if I'm here, can you get an isolated shot?
Yeah,
Is that
I can.
enough?
I was, and then-
I can kind of go like that and get the name tag out of the way.
That's perfect.
So should I do Sam first and then Waka?
However you want to do it.
All right. We'll
You
do-
should probably lead with the puppet. I'm
All
more
right.
interesting.
All right.
Sure.
All right. So, can you please say your name and what it is that you do?
Excellent. I am Waka Patui, and I teach and vlog at theedupuppets.com.
What do you blog about?
I vlog about everything. I vlog about what we're doing in class that day. I'll do a little into video. Last week I interviewed Adam West about his upcoming movie about Batman.
What have you seen? What have you seen the reaction of your orange coat with kids? Like, do kids appreciate that you're a puppet that teaches them?
Frankly, they love me. I would go through the lunch yard and they all scream my name and they chant, "We want Waka." The teachers get really mad. So, yeah, I'm a little bit magic and very, very engaging.
And how long have you been doing this?
Year and a half.
And can you give us some examples of what you actually use? Or sorry, what you use? Can you give us some examples of what you do in the classroom, Waka?
Sure, like some days I'll start off and I'll be there live in class and I'll ask the kids questions and they'll talk to me and they'll ask me questions. And other days I make a little video before school and Sam takes the video into class and shows them the video. And from what I understand, he like hands out iPads while the video's playing.
And
Your video was very helpful.
Thank you. I make helpful videos for people too. This year I'm an official blogger for ISTE.
And why do you do what you do? Why do you teach in the classroom with kids? I know you've only been teaching for a year and a half, but why do you do that?
I do that to inspire kids to be empowered creators of digital content, to get involved in the world, and to really love learning in all ways.
And so I have a question. At this conference, everyone keeps talking about how important technology is. And I'm curious from your perspective, can you talk about the opposite of technology, which is relationships? How have you seen engaging with students and parents with you, Waka, to be helpful in their education?
Well, the nice thing about doing something like being a puppet in a classroom is it shows you're all in. It's way passion-based, and people are either going to be like, "That's amazing," or "That man needs help." So it's important in relationships to be fully present. And you do that with the puppet, and it inspires that presence in other people, because even here, I'll walk around and people like smile at me really big, and then I'm like, that's a person I need to talk to, because there's some sort of relationship already happening there.
And can you tell me how the students respond to this when they see Waka?
They love it. I swear, I get in trouble all the time. I walk through the lunchroom and the kindergartners start chanting, "We want Waka, we want Waka." And the teacher's like, "You be quiet." And I'm trying to be not laughing out loud because I love it.
And what happens when you laugh out loud?
I get in a little bit of trouble with the teachers. The kindergarten teachers refer to me as the bad uncle that shows up and gets the kids all wound up and then leaves.
And Waka, is there anything that I haven't asked that you want to talk about that you think is important?
I don't think so, but I think puppets are really important, and when you're thinking about tech, it's really just an invitation to think about all of the ways that you approach learning in your classroom. And every time we make a choice about changing the way we teach, thinking about the pedagogy behind it is really important.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now the person. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Now the person.
It's so much fun.
Cool. Ready? Okay, so can you tell us who you are and where you teach?
Sure, I'm Sam Patterson. I teach.
talk to him, sorry.
Talk to him. Okay,
Yeah.
I teach at Gideon Hausner Jewish Day School in Palo Alto.
And what's your name?
Sam Patterson.
And how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for 12 years. The first 11 years I was a high school English teacher, and now I've jumped ship and gone to kindergarten through 5th grade technology.
Now, how has the transition been from jumping from there to kindergarten through 5th grade?
Really amazing. I've found that the emotional impact of teaching younger kids is huge. I didn't really expect it, and when I started, I wasn't sure I could do it. Honestly, people talk about how their PLN changed their life. If I wasn't connected to so many educators on Twitter, I never would have thought, yeah, I have the resources to completely change everything I do in my career. But I do, and some of those resources include people that I can talk to about, you know, how do I respond when the kindergartners start crying in the middle of class? And the answer sometimes is don't buy into it, which never would have been my go-to move.
And so another question I have is in this conference, everyone keeps talking about technology, and I'm curious the opposite side of that from another perspective. How do you think that relationships impact how you operate with students and parents? Why are relationships important in education?
Starting as an English teacher, the reason I got into teaching English was I love teaching writing. And teaching writing changes. Like a student's writing changes only when you sit down with them and read their writing with them and help them see your response and really understand that. And that's all about that relationship. So all of teaching, I feel, is building relationships. And I think when technology is at its best, it's facilitating those relationships in a way that we couldn't do otherwise.
And how have you used Remind in the classroom?
Remind in the classroom has been really helpful for after-school clubs, informal groups. I find that my parent group doesn't necessarily love email. So if I want to send all of the information out over email, it's not going to get to everybody. Using something like Remind allows me to have a way in my back pocket that I can contact a whole group of students, teachers, etc. at the drop of a hat.
Great. And last question. So, where did you get this idea of bringing in a puppet named Waka into the classroom?
It all started with my own journey of learning. I was trying to figure out how I could make flipped videos, and I was trying to learn video production because I'm an English teacher with a poetry degree, right? We didn't study how to make videos in any of this. We really should have, actually. But we didn't have the tools then because it was 5 years ago, and the whole world has changed. But I was trying to do these videos at like 5 in the morning before I went to the gym. And I wanted to put my face in a video because eyeballs drive engagement. And I came up with the idea of, you know, if he takes somebody like me and just makes me do his videos for him, then bang, we've got a face that, you know, looks the same at 5 in the morning as 5 in the afternoon. I didn't know, I knew I could sew, I didn't know I could make puppets. So I actually did a personal learning activity where I got onto YouTube and said, can YouTube teach me how to make a puppet? Yes, it can.
That's great. Last question. So, where did you go to college?
Undergraduate at University of Illinois, and I did my graduate work in San Diego State and the University of San Diego.
Okay, so I want to know, when you were a sophomore at the University of Illinois, or right around that area, and you were thinking about what does Sam want to do with his life? Now, eventually Waka. How did you decide to go into teaching? Why did you go into teaching?
I joke that I went into teaching because the Hallmark factory in town closed down and I couldn't get a job as a poet otherwise. I got into teaching because learning to write changed my life. It gave me a purpose, it gave me an audience. In college I ran all of these like poetry readings where you stand up, you know, like poetry slams, and so you stand up in the coffee house and you shout your work out to the world. We don't need to necessarily do that anymore because we have blogs and Facebook and whatnot, but that was really the only way that I could share my work with an authentic audience. And that experience really shaped who I am, and it shapes how I make choices about what my kids are going to be doing. Because any tech tool you show me, I'm like, okay, give me one idea and now show me how it shares. Because it's that connecting with an audience that I really want to get into.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more, actually?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
really quick. One thing we've been asking, I feel like you may have something, I just have an inkling that...
He's taking our picture over there, like
Sure.
stalking us totally.
Okay.
The paparazzi follows me everywhere.
Yeah, I can understand why. Just like, do you ever use Remind and send anything kind of like weird or silly, or like kind of try to insert humor into it at all?
I haven't. I should. Right? Can we use Remind? You can use it to send links. So
Links or pictures?
Links or pictures, so I could link to the videos, right?
Yeah. You could probably link to Waka too.
You could probably link to Waka. You could have like a daily joy remind that was school wide, and you just send out something every day that's, you know, positive and engaging.
You could do a Waka GIF.
do a walk a GIF. That's a good idea. You know, people have talked to me about animation and puppets, and I'm like, is that necessary? It seems like stop motion animation with a puppet, right? That's like, why not just film it? But yeah, walk a GIF would be good, because then that would show up and actually play directly native in the app, wouldn't it? Nice.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
You rock. This is really great. This is so cool that you decided to do this.
And it's so much fun. I'm just grateful that people have received it as well as they have, because it is kind of an act of faith. Like, oh, I'm gonna be the guy at the conference walking around with a puppet.
I'm sure you get a lot of fun stares. Cool. Well, thank you. So this should go live in the next 2 or 3 months. We'll send it to you before. We're going to do like a compiling of why teachers teach and why they do.
I haven't. I should. Can we use your mic? You can use it to send links. So
Links or pictures?
links or pictures. So I can link to the videos, right?
Probably link to Waka.
Probably link to Waka. We could have like a daily joy remind that was school wide. You just send out something every day that's, you know, positive and engaging.
You could do a Waka GIF.
Do a walk a GIF. Good idea. You know, people have talked to me about animation and puppets, and I'm like, is that necessary? It seems like stop motion animation with a puppet, right? That's why not just film it? But yeah, walk a GIF would be good, because then that would show up and actually play.